Yo.
What's up, everybody? Anthony Enos here with JCAE Fishing, and today we're going to be talking about a JDM bait, the Pompadour by Jackall. Get this guy out of the box. Isn't that a wild-looking thing? Alright, so we're going to start with color. Right here, I have the Green Frog colorway, which personally I think is the best. There are about 8 or 9 colorways to choose from. I would recommend either this one, the bone color, or the black color. Obviously, you can't go wrong with black or white. If you're going to be throwing topwater, you usually want something lighter or darker, and everything in between doesn't matter too much, in my opinion, and probably a lot of people's opinions. So, as far as color goes, I'm definitely recommending the Green Frog, the white, and the black. So, what's unique about the Jackall Pompadour is that it is probably one of the oddest topwater baits I've ever seen, and yet every time I throw one, I'm super intrigued with it. You have these two metal wings on the side, and these things pan out in the water like this and do a breaststroke just like that in the water. Meanwhile, you have a prop on the back that's spinning, causing more water to get disrupted. And then if you listen real closely, I'll try and hold everything so you can just hear this. There's a rattle inside of it. So they have been calling this like a whole new category of topwater. Like, they're not saying, oh, you know, it's a spook, it's a walker, this or that. They're saying it's its own little, like, noisy subcategory, and there's just so much going on. I mean, you can imagine this thing going back and forth like that. You already hear all the commotion it's causing right now, so it's pretty good. This is the normal size. I would actually recommend you guys buy the Pompadour Junior. It's a little less expensive, and in my opinion, it does a little bit of a better job than the normal Pompadour. Now, I want to talk about a more minor detail that I think a lot of people don't talk about, but I definitely want to talk about. It's the eyes on this guy. They have big, round, black eyes. Most people think, you know, that doesn't matter. It's all about its action on the topwater, and color doesn't matter. It's all about its action, and for me, that's just not the truth. I mean, these eyes, like I said, when it swims, it dips down. It doesn't just straight up go across. It dips down a little bit, and that eye is looking down at the water, and any fish that's approaching it, if it's from the front of it coming toward it, if it sees that eye dip down and look at them, I think that that is a huge part, and I think that that is going to greatly impact that fish's decision. Do I want to hit this bait or not? So, the eyes, really nice. The other thing I want to hit with this lure is the really precise designing that went into it. Obviously, this is very unique. There's a lot of companies that are trying to copy it. For example, Savage Gear with their topwater bat. When I first heard they were having a topwater bat, I thought, okay, that sounds sweet. Like, I need to get one. After seeing it, I just realized all it was a copy off the Pompadour. In my opinion, Savage Gear makes a lot of good gear. I wouldn't get the topwater bat if you have this as another option. I mean, this thing's great, and topwater bat is just a total gimmick. It's a knockoff of this. It's really what it is. But the design of this is just so intricate. You know, it catches my eye every time. The body, it's got a nice slick top that dips down back into this prop, and then you have the underbelly that comes out a little bit and dips under. And then if you see that little indentation, it's almost like just to add to the awesome action that this thing has on the top of the water. They're like, okay, we'll add a little bit of popper or chugger to it too. So, I mean, that's awesome. And the movement that this thing has when it just goes side to side like that, it literally dips down, comes out, makes all this noise. I mean, if I was a fish and something was disrupting the water that much, especially if I was a bass and I'm already super aggressive, you know, I'm going to hit this thing 100% of the time. This guy is 3/4 ounces. It is about 3 inches long, and you could pick it up for $22.99. The price sounds a little steep, but believe me, it's worth it, and especially if you get the Pompadour Junior. I think it's $19.99, so it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit smaller. It's definitely worth having in your tackle box if you're into throwing kind of weird, newer lures. That's the whole reason I bought this. I had no idea if it was going to catch fish or not, but I was watching some YouTube videos one day. I saw somebody throwing it, and I saw that super odd breaststroke, and I thought it was the coolest thing, and I love throwing topwater, so it was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, okay, $23, a little steep, but I'm going to pick it up. But I ended up getting the Junior, too, and, you know, nothing like spending $43 on some fishing lures. So there is that. My first recommendation is, and you know what, this basically goes for all baits, buy the waterproof tackle boxes. I don't even know why people still have just the clasp ones. I mean, I guess because they're a lot cheaper, but you're going to get your money's worth out of the waterproof ones. Pay a little bit more. I'm telling you right now, it's not as much with these guys that the hooks rust on them, but something about the back here where this prop is, this all has a big tendency to rust. So I definitely recommend a waterproof tackle box, and you know, when you're done using this guy, definitely give it some extra care. Try and dry it off a little bit, because that is the one issue I have, especially if I'm paying $23 for the bait. The second implication, and this is a super easy fix, the hooks that they put on here are basically useless. I think the first fish that I caught, the hook bent, and I think it was a 2-pounder. So definitely buy lure. It's a great lure. I'm not saying not to get the lure. The whole video is actually to let you guys know that it is a really good lure, and if you're in a topwater, you should get it. What I'm saying is buy the lure, and then you could test it for yourself and throw it. You know, it's not going to break just from catching one fish. It might get bent up a little bit, but you're going to replace them anyway. So I recommend some Gamakatsu treble hooks. Gamakatsu always has performed the best for me. That's what I like, so that's what I use. And if the second you upgrade these hooks, you will love it. That's all I could say. It's going to be great because your hookup ratio is going to be better. You're going to lose less fish because that hook isn't bending. And another thing I noticed about these hooks is the barb on them is so tiny. I don't know if you could see that, but probably can't because they're just so small. So that is my other recommendation. Just a little hook upgrade. Costs you an extra $3 at most. So you could fish the Pompadour in open water, or you could fish it closer to shore. I catch the most fish around shore, but I try not to get too close because obviously hanging treble hooks mean snag. So this is not a weedless lure by any means, but it is a really good one. So the last thing I want to talk about is what would I throw this on? In my opinion, I'd say a medium heavy action rod. And as I've said before in my previous video, I like throwing braid. I throw braid all the time, so I'm a little bit biased in that standpoint. I'd probably throw this guy on 20-pound braided spider wire. That's just me. Could you get away throwing this on mono? Yeah, sure. It just all depends how confident you feel or how secure you feel about your fishing lures. When I spend $23 on a fishing lure, the first thing in my head is, okay, I don't want to throw this on fluorocarbon. I don't want to throw this on mono, because if it breaks off, even though it floats, there's always a chance that you're not going to get it back, and that's why I like braid. Braid just gives me, as a fisherman, that extra sense of security that I'm not going to lose my lure. And, you know, when it comes to catfishing, I always use mono because if it breaks, I'm not too upset because all I lost was a circle hook and a couple split shot weights. When it comes to bass fishing, I could be using a very expensive spinner or swim bait or crankbait or topwater, and I just don't want to lose it, so I always go with braid. Alright guys, thank you for watching. This has been JCAE's review on the Jackall Pompadour. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn the notifications on, the whole deal. We'll be bringing more review videos to you soon, as well as some fishing videos when it gets warmer out. But for now, I don't know, what? Should I start a catchphrase now that I'm making YouTube videos? For now, drop a line on my channel. I don't know. All right, see ya.